Well, welcome to part two of motorizing my uncle. Um, what I had done is I bent this cover up to clear the mechanism that I showed you on the first part of this video. And it don't look too bad. What I'm going to be doing is, this is just masking tape now, but what I'm going to be doing is the puttying and everything else. You know, the paper clay thing. So we got it all. We got the wires coming out of what used to be the eye control, and it's working quite well. And I'm gonna see if I can put the battery on here and show you. Okay, that's not too bad. The next thing I want to do is to do something with this. This is one of these bottle caps from aftershave lotion. So I'm going to have to redo that somehow. But the next step, I guess, I'll make the mouth trigger. Hook up that. That's the next thing we got to do. After we get all done, we got to fix the drill got caught in this here, trying to drill these holes for this bracket that I put in here. So it messed up his hair, so I've got a little bit of this wig material left. So I think what I'm going to probably do is to see if I can glue this down more so it doesn't fly away. It'd look a little better maybe. He don't look like much right now, does he? Well, anyways, looks like it's gonna rain. So I think we're gonna stop for today, and we'll come back on this video here. So don't go away, because I'll be back faster than you can say ish kabibble. Well, I'm back on it again a few days later here. Well, this solenoid here that I got from American Science and Surplus is just not gonna do it. It doesn't it don't start pulling until it's about a 1/4 inch from the bottom here. I didn't think this would work, but I went by what they told me would work. I'm going to have to get something else to pull that down. And the only thing I know that they would have is that door lock thing that's supposed to have a 5/8 inch throw. They told me that that wouldn't work, but I think it will work, because it pulls 5/8 and it pushes 5/8. So that'll definitely be the thing to use on this. So I put, as you can see, I put the stick back on, and the wire for the eye control is right here, long enough so that I can make my connections if necessary. And I leave this bottom piece off here because I'm going to be either making the pulley or the threaded rod. I'm not sure what way I'm going with that yet. I was going to work on the mouth trigger, but that solenoid just doesn't throw far enough, and it is not strong enough. As this is the plunger, it doesn't have a spring on it, and my intention was to have it sitting probably about up here, and so it would pull down like that. Of course, it makes a clicking metal against metal with a point here, which is not a good thing. I found a couple of screws that I could mount this, but it's a 24-volt solenoid, but they claim it'll work on 12, and it does, but it doesn't have a lot of pull. Not for what I'm using it for. And I put a temporary wire on here, and it was going to go on to the ring here, and then the solenoid would be mounted on the stick here somewhere and adjusted. But when it moved, it only moved about a 1/4 inch, and the mouth didn't even move. Okay, we're going to give up on the mouth ring at the present time. We're going to come back on it later. We're going to concentrate on the drive for the turning of his head. So what I bought today is two threaded rods, a 5/16, which is going to go from the base, it'll have to be cut back, into this cap that I showed you earlier, and it's going to be supported with a block of wood down here. This will be removed so that it'll keep this steady like that. There'll be no more of this rocking back and forth. There may be a little movement, a little bit, but there won't be that much. Then I got a 3/8 rod, which is the closest match to this. And he gave me some tubing, so the suggestion of using tubing on here is good with a clamp. You can see that I have to definitely clamp that. It fits tight on the threaded rod. The 3/8 is a little bit bigger, but the 5/8, 5/16 rather, is a little bit small. So we'll use this for here, and we're using this over here. So we're going to do one of these routines here, but we got a lot of work to do before that. Now, let me show you what else I got. I bought one of these. I had a coupler, I guess it's got a thread all the way through it. Instead of using the nut, it'll screw on here, and as this rod turns, it'll turn this. So it's a lot easier than trying to work with nuts. I got a few extra nuts because I need to put an end cap on here to support it over on the side, so that I can, it'll hold that end up, and the other end will be where the motor is. I think what's going to happen is the motor is going to be up about this level here instead of on the floor. Otherwise, I'd have to extend the stick down to here, which I could do, I guess, but put the motor up in here. Actually, the motor will go this way, like that. Okay, what I am doing here is I jury rigged up. This is the 5/16 rod. I took out the hook out of the bottom. This is going to slide through like this. There's going to be a block of wood with a washer. It's going to act as a bearing surface. This is a piece of dowel, double nutted here, and that slides up to about in here. That's just a stabilizer, so this will go up into there like that. This will be locked in, so this whole thing will be nice and rigid, but yet we'll be able to turn. And we'll put the set screw back in, and like I say, we removed this other one here because we're not using that rubber band idea anymore. So once this is all in, this will enable the head to be turned nicely, and then I'll be able to do my threaded rod rig here. Alright, well, that's it right there. Not perfectly straight because I couldn't get the hole to be in the dead center of this thing. It's virtually impossible. So, he's on an angle a little bit, but that's nothing new. Now I gotta secure this. This just gives me a little place to hold this. And the rod is up inside the bottom, about 1/4 inch. It's catching on this piece of particle board, hardboard right here. And there's cardboard underneath that, well, it's recessed into the cardboard. So all I gotta do is just screw this down in there. That should be good. Shouldn't have to do any more, just put a couple screws in there, and then that should ride good on that. And then the threaded rod will be about here with the coupler right about here. And this I'll make a fork or something on there similar to the eye mechanism, and get that to swivel from side to side here. What I'm going to do is to have a, if you've been following this and you see the little gizmo I made for the eyes, I don't mean the crank part off the motor, but the other part there, the little horseshoe type of thing I made up. So I'm going to make something like that for here. So, okay, I got that secured now, so that's good and solid. His head ain't going nowhere. And now what we got to do is to get the mechanism on here. Now I can put the mechanism arrangement in here, or if I can get it to connect to here somehow without having to pull all this out again, I might be able to do it here, but I doubt it very highly, because I got to put that horseshoe thing in there. But if it was done here, it would be a little better position than up here, and the motor could be almost on the floor, if not on the floor, right about here. But these are things I'm going to be thinking about as I'm going along with this.